on at all. I think we need to really we have to be straight with this. We're gonna be straight to this, straight with this. We have to be straight with this, and it's not on. Totally unacceptable. Let me just see, So here, 1 minute, please. Just want to make sure I got. Oh, okay. No. Okay. Just give me a minute, please. I'm trying to change the pictures on here. So ban all exports. Ban raw material exports. Yeah. So give me a minute, please. We're just gonna be doing this in a bit. Greetings and welcome. Ban raw material exports. Yeah. US. Yeah. Ban it. We need to ban it. So here. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Give me a minute, please. Greetings and welcome. I know I've not been here on regular, so those of you on YouTube, you may be finding it that I'm not, regular. I beg your pardon, but it's just we've just been busy. But we're gonna talk about this ban, and that's fine. I think we need to. Okay, so there you go. So hopefully that'll make sense. I don't know. I'll try anyway. Okay, so we're gonna try a few things here, and I'm gonna try and go live on here as well on Facebook. Okay. Greetings and welcome. Welcome to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Greetings and welcome. Welcome. I might be doing an hour or so on here. I might be doing about an hour or so here. We need to, the audacity of the US to actually put a ban on Africa should tell us we shouldn't be afraid. We need to now, we should call their bluff. We should ban export of raw materials to the US, period. And this is the perfect time. All of the NGOs and we're tired of this. Enough is enough. I don't know how you see this, but this is my take on it, and I felt I had to say something about this. So greetings and welcome to Citizen Hour, the platform where we speak truth to power. So we're speaking about the US ban on Africa. It is totally unacceptable to now be putting in, Botswana 37%, South Africa 30%, Tunisia 28%, Cote d'Ivoire 21%, Egypt 10%, Morocco 10%, even Nigeria I think is on 10%. Now it's not acceptable. We cannot. It's time. We need those resources. I'll shortly come and explain to you why we need those resources on the African continent. We can't afford to be exporting the resources and then they're charging us for importing to them. If they, we need to trade ourselves. We should be trading. We don't need the US market. If we are honest about, we don't. Let me just get this right. 1 second. Yeah. So let me just get this right here. So we're gonna just play a few song before we go in, and then we can then begin that. Greetings and welcome. Yeah. Exactly. Fortia Dennis. Exactly. I'm an African. So Fortia Dennis, I'm an African, and I speak for Africa. And I find that the suffering of Africans is something that we can no longer accept anymore. Why do we don't need our resources. We don't need the US resources. US is taking African resources. I'll give you an example. Congo. We can talk about Congo. So that's the thing. You see, that's the misconception many people seem to have, that Africa is taking resources from the US. It's the other way around. And it's not even that they're taking it. They don't pay fair value for the resources. So why sell to them anyway? And then they're only for them to charge double price on whatever they produce to bring back in, to prevent us from developing on the African continent. So there's a lot to be said about this. And it's not about the hate or anything. We just need to be America is doing what is for the American interest. It is time Africa starts doing what is for African interest. That is as simple as that. If you want to play that game, let everybody play that game. And that's all we're saying. We're not saying for it to be, become, have any ulterior motive other than what the people have said there. We're not interested in that. We just want to be allowed to do our own thing on our continent. It is not acceptable at all that somebody will come and then start telling us all of these stories and expect us to accept it. It is simply not acceptable. Sorry, 1 second, please. So that's why we're doing the program today. I'm going to read to you the list of countries that have been targeted with the tariffs. Nigeria is one of them. South Africa is one of them. I don't mind them. I don't say we shouldn't. I'm not saying we shouldn't. They shouldn't have their own. Sorry, 1 second. So you're going to be hearing that song in the background. So we need to talk about this. So the US can no longer, and in fact the Western world, France, for example, they've been taking for 40 years. This is something that it's painful to talk about, but we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. So I'll be shortly be live. So let me just make sure we get this going. Greetings and welcome. Those of you who are joining us, if you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. We appreciate your support. So how long gonna go to suffer? Greetings and welcome. Let me know if you can hear me on we're live on TikTok, we are live on YouTube. Greetings and welcome. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Apologies for my long silence. It's just that I've been doing one or two things and I've just not been able to get around to to come live on a regular basis, but we're here, which is the most important, and now we're doing what we need to do. So, and what we want to do most of all is to give you information so you are aware of what has been done. The tariffs is an opportunity for us to look at what is going on the African continent and actually say, do we really need this interaction with the US? Is it not time we call time on it and say no more? No, actually, we don't want it. We don't need this. 1 second, make sure we got it right. So we should be saying no more, Yeah. Could you they are reciprocal tariffs. Could you guys lower your tariffs so we can lower the US tariff? No, you don't. You're not getting my point. And the US is taking, as you're watching, greetings, you're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please go ahead and actually subscribe to us. Help us grow the platform. We do need your support, and we are grateful for you, joining us. It's very important that we have this open and honest discussion among ourselves, because what is going on now is simply not acceptable. It is simply not acceptable that the US can actually just decide they will put a tariff on us for nothing, and that is not acceptable at all. It is firstly, you're taking the resources on Africa, you're taking it on the cheap. You're not paying fair value for the resources, and then you have the temerity to say by the way, we are going to put a tariff on you. And that's what I'm calling for. I'm now saying, well, if you're going to do that, we now have that right to actually say, no way, you know what? We are actually calling time on all of this, So it is time for us, Why do you hate Elon Musk, Gazi? I don't know about Elon Musk. I don't know. I don't do hate. Me, I don't do hate. All I know is that Elon Musk and his parents and everything have been saying a few things about Africa that's not right. Greetings and welcome. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We haven't been on here for a while, so we're trying to see if we can get everything going. Please tap on the screen, those of you who are watching us on TikTok as well, and help us grow the platform. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We are here to really talk about in depth this injustice that that your God. I'm an African. That's all you need to know. Your God assassin. I'm an African. You can see. I mean, you can see. I can't exactly hide it. I am an African, and I'm proud of it. Omo Yoruba. I'm a Yoruba person. So I speak for Africans, and I have every right to. And just the fact that I speak about Africa and I actually stand up for Africa does not mean that I hate Europe or I hate anybody. I am just here to make sure that our people understand what has been done for the years, the psychological, mental oppression that has been going on the African continent against the Africans in their own land, and they have to speak up. Mad Hatter, nothing is happening. Listen, Mad Hatter, I think you've got it wrong, Mad Hatter. Let us speak about it. I've got somebody speaking on here. So greetings and welcome. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, guys, hello. Can you hear me now? Okay, you're having feedback. Okay, sorry about that. Can you hear it now? Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me. So greetings and welcome. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're going to just go and talk about the tariffs that the US has put on Africa. I apologize if I haven't, you can hear me now, sorry. Okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to get the volume down, and thanks for giving me the heads up on that. I've been trying to get that right, but I'm multitasking. So sometimes it can sort of go a bit off, but I was trying to bring the volume down. But obviously, but you can hear me now. Okay, you say greetings. So what I'm saying, and I'm saying it categorically, and I'm not holding back on this. Is it not time for Africa to actually go, you know what? We do not want anything to do with you. We don't want, in fact, we don't want to sell, we don't want to export our resources on the African continent. We want those resources because for so long, the military bases, the fact of the matter, I'm sorry, let me just talk to Fortified Bay, 40 Dennis. Take care of Medicare and the kids in the United States so that they can get the treated. Yeah, exactly. Without having to pay. Exactly. The same thing we're saying, 45 Dennis. That's on YouTube. Mad Hatter said, I disagree with what's happening in South Africa. Listen, Mad Hatter, let me just say that quickly. Look, what is happening in South Africa, we have to be very, very clear. As we speak, in 1894, they had the Land Reform Act that was imposed by Cecil Rhodes, 1894, the Land Reform Act, whereby 80% of the land was given to 8% of the people of the invaders, of the colonials, and then the 80% of the people are now forced to live on just 10%, 10 to 20% of their land. And as we speak now, the number of people, the number of Africans do not own their own property or their land. Over 72% of Africans in South Africa right now don't own the land. The majority of that land is still in the hands of the colonizers. That is the reality. So when you colonize something and you now make yourself to be a citizen of that country, that is a double oppression of the original people. That land must go back to Africans. So when you're trying to tell Mad Hatter, when you're trying to now say, South Africans are oppressing white South Africans. No. The oppression is ongoing. Remember, like I said, Cecil Rhodes took the land. He didn't allow the people, Africans that were on their land, to remain on the land. They had to go and pay taxes, and if they couldn't, the land was taken away from them. This is daylight robbery. It was daylight robbery in 1892 or 1894, and today in 2025, it is still daylight robbery. And that is what we are saying. Greetings, Easy. I'll bring you on board shortly. We're going to talk about this broadcast thing. Somebody just came to talk about South Africa, but that is all relevant. So we greetings and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and also I want to say a big thank you to those of you following us on Facebook. Over on Facebook, we have over 70, we have over 193,000 people who are following us. Sorry, 137,000 people following us right now on following us right now on Facebook. We have 33,000 people following us on TikTok, and we have also about 6,000 or 7,000 following us on YouTube. Please continue to subscribe on all of the platforms. We need the support. What we want to do now is empower Africans, empower all Africans to know their rights and to be able to benefit from their resources. One of the things that we need to look at is when there are decisions made like this, America is not for 1 second thinking about what they have done to Congo. America has not paid for what has been done to Congo. Let me bring in Yusi, my brother, so we can actually, and you can maybe add more, to, you can add more weight to the discussion. America is taking resources away, cobalt, gold, diamond, you name it, all those precious metals. They are in Congo, and they are taking those resources out without paying a penny. And they are putting in, the government that is in Congo now is a puppet of the West, particularly the US. That is the reality of what is going on. So when we are talking about this, we are not saying, we're not just coming here talking and just talking for the sake of talking. We're here to raise awareness and get us to understand that time now, this is the time now for Africa to rise. We need to get behind Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore is taking over the gold mines, and the gold mine now belongs to the people of Burkina Faso, as against the. Do you know that the Canadian company, a Canadian company, was taking 80% of the returns that of all of the gold that was made, that was mined in Burkina Faso? They were taking. Sorry, that's Mali. Is it Mali? Yeah, I think it's Mali. They were taking 80% in Canada. The Canadians were taking 80% from Mali. And Assimi Goïta has drawn a line on all of that and saying no more. We are going to be minding ourselves. Likewise, the same. The French were doing the same thing in Burkina Faso. The French were doing the same thing in Burkina Faso, and Ibrahim Traore has taken over the mines and is now being mined by the people. Welcome, you see, my brother. Sorry, it's been a minute. How are you doing? What would you like to say? It's a pleasure having you join us. Go over to you. Go ahead, Yusi. Let's hear from you. Yusi, can you hear me? Okay, you may be. If you're busy, that's fine. We will come back to you in due course, no doubt. Greetings, and those of you watching, please do share and follow us, and we are grateful for you. Yeah, go ahead. Yusi, go ahead.
Yes, thank you once again. Yeah, thank you once again, and yes, the platform is very informative. This is something we need to hear.
Go ahead. Oh, he may be having network issues. Can you hear me? I think you're having network issues, but carry on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Carry on then.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo. Like, I will go down and come back again.
Okay, you go out and come back again. Meanwhile, I'll bring you back in. So I will disconnect and I'll bring you back. And I'm going to disconnect, and then we will connect back with Yusi. So so that we can speak to him, because he's a friend of the house, and we always he always have an engaging discussion. So let me bring him back in, multi-guesting. As ever, if you want to join me on TikTok, all you have to do is just send me a request, and we will bring you on, and we welcome everybody joining us. So let us go and do that. Please tap on the screen, those of you on TikTok. I know I've not been there for a minute. It's just been very difficult, and it's been hectic. So we've been trying to get everything running so that we can be back up to speed, and but we're there. So today's topic is really about the ban from the US, and I'm saying, why don't we go a step further? Why don't we go a full step further and actually say no? You know what? This is actually more than that. We don't want anything from you. We don't want We're not selling anything to you. We're not having any. We should cancel all of the exports to the US because they are looting the resources. From the time of Burkina Patrice Lumumba to now, they were part of the Belgium and the UK and all of that that planned how to unalive Patrice Lumumba because he stood for Africa and he stood for the people of Africa benefiting from the resources. And their intervention, they put in this the puppet. I can't remember the name now. Oh, it will come to me anyway. Mobutu. They put in Mobutu. They were the ones that put in Mobutu. And guess what happened? Mobutu, the very thing that he did not allow to happen, the development of the people of Congo, ended up taking his own life. Guess why? Because when Mobutu had cancer, Mobutu could not go to the US or go anywhere else. He died without getting treatment. And that is payback. I say that now. That is payback for him not supporting Patrice Lumumba, his own fellow Congolese, in making sure that they had infrastructure. Because when they have infrastructure, if they had infrastructure of roads, water, light, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety, security, if they had all of that in the place, guess what? He would live to be an old man, and he will benefit from those resources. The community will benefit. But no, he was short-sighted. Mobutu Sese Seko was short-sighted because somebody from the West came to talk to him and tell him, oh, by the way, we will give you everything you need. Just make sure that Congo belongs to us. Make sure that the resources, nobody stops us from taking the resources. And he did that. He made sure. I mean, these guys, and the US has not once apologized for the damage he has done to Congo. The US has not once apologized. Instead, they bear down, they double down on that injustice. And that is the reality of what we're saying. So this is nothing to do with about hating anybody or anything like that. We're speaking facts. And the time has come that we Africans, military, Godwin Osage, you're right. Military is the answer. And that is what in Burkina Faso under Ibrahim Traore, the man you see on the screen, salute to him. Salute to Ibrahim Traore. Salute to Assimi Goïta. Salute to General Chiani. These are the true African men standing up for Africa. Look, let us be very, very clear. When I'm speaking about this, we are talking about Africans benefiting from their resources on their own continent first and foremost. And we make no apologies about that. Let us be very clear. Now, we are not in any way encouraging anybody to go and hate anybody else, or that's not what we're interested in. What we are saying is it is time now. We don't want to hear any more stories about, let's be this, let's be that, let bygones be bygones, because bygones have never been bygones. Africa has been oppressed. Even the value of our resources, we don't have control over the cost of cocoa, over the cost of oil, over the cost of tin, over the cost of cobalt. We don't have any control over our resources. The prices of our resources are dictated by those who don't have those resources. Are you understanding me? Do you understand what I mean? On the African continent, Africans are not in control of the price of the resources that is from their land. Those prices, the price of anything, of any of the resources you care to name on the African continent, is dictated by colonials outside of Africa. And this is why the time has now come for us to have that open and honest discussion. This is not about hating anything. We are stating the facts, and we are making our people aware that we are more powerful than we realize. All of this idea that, we have to conform with an injustice. There is inherent injustice built into the financial system that is being used on the African continent right now. Did you hear me? There is inherent injustice in the system that is being used on the African continent right now. From the political structure, to the financial structure, to the educational structure, to the cultural structure, to everything that you can see. Now, thank heavens we have Ibrahim Traore. He's on the scene. He's now doing what must happen. He's now taking that step. Greetings and welcome. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'd really like you to leave comments and join us and help us share the broadcast. Please tap, those of you on TikTok, tap away on the screen, help us grow the platform. The more you tap, the more we get to reach more people. And of course, share, tap on the screen, just hold the screen and share the broadcast to as many people as you can. Just hold on it and it should be able to help to get to as many people as possible. We need you to share the broadcast. It is of immense importance. We are, of course, talking about, and I'm going to expatiate on that. We're talking about the recent pronouncement by Trump. Trump has now said, Trump has now extended his tariff onto African countries. Now, what I am saying, and I'm saying that authoritatively, is that it is now time for Africa to not even talk about, we should not be begging to have the thing removed. We shouldn't be begging to have the tariff removed. What we need to do on African continent is to pull out altogether, pull out en masse from trading, from actually having anything to do with the US, because they are not paying fair value for the right price of our resources. In Congo right now, the US has a large base in the Congo, and they say they're supporting peacekeeping. But the US and the UN, they are engaged in extracting resources from the people of Congo and leaving the people of Congo impoverished. It's not only in Congo, in Sudan, the same thing is happening. In all over, wherever you are seeing military bases, they are there to extract resources on the cheap. And they're there to create conditions of war so that they can go in and extract the resources on the cheap. Thankfully, all of this has been exposed by Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore has exposed this injustice. And by the actions he's taken, he's putting many of our leaders to shame. He bought tractors. He bought road making equipment. He bought building construction equipment. And he handed them to each department to make sure. And he bought mobile hospitals for his people with the public money. And he did a live video, where you would see him handing the keys to each of the ministers, and they were responsible. And they are now using it to build. They are building 55 hospitals right now in Burkina Faso. They are building 55 hospitals in place where they didn't have any. Now they are also making their own tomato paste. They are now exporting. Burkina Faso, in the last year, they are the third largest red onion producing country in the whole of West Africa. From the space of just 2 years. In the space of just 2 years. The work that is done by Ibrahim Traore is dizzying. It is literally dizzying. You look at it and you think, how can this, what vision in one man? He's even combating. There's a video where I will come to you and show you. He's combating corruption. He's telling, if you go over, if you cannot competently explain where you got your riches from, you will find yourself in jail, because they have records and they are matching the records of your payments to what you got. And it's dropped the pay of many of the people who are in government, because we haven't got infrastructure. We haven't. And the things, when they keep telling you, and as an African, we need to start saying this among ourselves. On the African continent, we don't need. Why are there so many claims? There's a lot of war. Well, this is what we're doing now, Mad Hatter. That is why we're doing, this is the time now. Now, with Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali doing what they're doing, the rest of Africa is now asking, they're now taking notice and going, hang on. Why is it that my own leaders are going to the West to beg money? Ibrahim Traore, Assimi General Chani, they are not taking any IMF loan. They are not taking any World Bank loan. They are using the resources for the first time to benefit their people. So they have, if they go to China, if you have what we need, we have how much is your equipment or whatever expertise that you want to bring in? We have the resources. Here you go. A trade. We swap. That is what they're doing to benefit their people. What has been happening is that the puppet leaders, they've not been doing anything to benefit the people. Anybody collecting IMF loan, let me say this clearly, any African country collecting IMF loan is a puppet of the West. End of story. Any country, and I don't exclude any one of them. I don't exclude, if you are still collecting an IMF loan after what Ibrahim Traore has shown us, then you are a puppet of the West. Ibrahim Traore, they've been trying to offer him loans. And he kept saying, no, I don't need your loan. I don't need IMF. I don't need World Bank. And look at what he is doing. They are having their own aeroplane for the first time in ever. They're able to fly people around. He bought 500. This young man bought 500 public transport to facilitate the free movement of their people, so they can go around freely and be able to trade among themselves and get around in their country. This is all to aid, business, to aid. Africans are business makers. We are entrepreneurs. It is in our blood. In my ancestry, our people traded. There is hardly any African company, and there is hardly any African community you will go to that you will not find a trader of one sort or the other. It is in our blood. We started trade by barter, and we were trading across the whole of Africa. Now, what the colonial structure has done has put a stop to our trading. Africans don't trade among themselves. We are forced to trade with those who are actually exploiting us, and we need to put a stop to that. I'm not saying this as out of hate or anger or frustration. We are stating the facts, and we need our people. Hope, greetings and welcome to you. US and what can Africa and the rest of the world do about US and Trump? Look, Africa, US is not our problem. Trump is not our problem on the African continent. No. What we need to do in Africa right now, is to make sure that the first job that we must do on the African continent, and that is what Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, and General Chiani have done, to create a strong military force that is protecting the border of those three countries. The Alliance of Sahel States, they are also having a unified army, and that means that they can protect themselves. That means that the likes of the US, the likes of France and all of the colonial powers, they cannot come in and cause destruction and put fear in our people. I mean, they said to Burkina Faso, oh, you cannot grow your own food. You are not able to grow. I just told you, in 2 years, Burkina Faso is growing onions, so much so they are exporting to other countries. I think it's something like over 200,000 tons of red onions. They're growing their own tomatoes, they're growing their own food, they're doing all of this stuff, and it is showing you that as Africans, we don't need to go outside of Africa. We really don't. Particularly when one looks at the way Africa has been treated for so long by those so-called bodies that were trying to help. When they say that, oh, we're bringing the military base to protect you, would the US accept a foreign military on US soil? Let us ask that question. I'm asking, will the US accept a foreign military base on the US soil? Yes or no? That is it. Yes or no? That is the question I'm asking. But the US, I bet you the answer is going to be no way. No way. They will never ever accept it. Yet, there are of the US base, on the US, just the US alone, the US has a minimum of 30 military bases, and those are the ones we know of on the African continent. Why? If you are saying that African countries are a democracy, the fact that you have a military base on their soil means that they are no longer sovereigns. And if you are not a sovereign, you are not democratic. And that is the problem that people don't really understand. This is all a game that has been done. We have to speak this truth to power. And we're not here to, when I say this, I'm not saying it out of hate. I'm saying it out of clarity of mind, that our people need to experience and understand and begin to imbibe, and then sit down and think for a minute, oh, you mean that to be able to buy my resources on the cheap, they've caused war in my land so that we don't have enough time to be able to grow and feed ourselves, to make us dependent on them? That requires a level of free thinking, and not free thinking in French or in English, in your own local language. These are the things we're talking about. So let me just pause for a second and read the story of this tariff that he has put in. I'm going to, let me put that in there for a second. Where is it now? So now let us read a bit more about what is said here. The US President Donald Trump announced his much anticipated red hot tariffs on United States trading partners in the White House on Wednesday, which he named Liberation Day. The tariffs are expected to boost US manufacturing and punish other countries for what he says are years of unfair trade practices. Just that word, unfair trade practices. As we speak in Congo, there is unfair trade practices carried out by the US. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it, and I can back it up. Just look at all you have to do. Look at the news. There are so many people being unalived in Congo today because the US recognizes that the cobalt it needs, the lithium, the many of those resources, precious metals, are in Congo. And what do? Create war, impoverish the people, give them the medical, do medical interventions, all designed to keep the people suppressed and oppressed. And the same US is now talking about unfair trade practices. Please give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. We have to call this out as Africans, and we have to speak about this. This is injustice going on a daily basis in 2025. So you now want to come and talk to us about unfair trade practices. But let's carry on. It says here, in the first since threats began, Trump has directly hit African countries with tariffs. The president announced a 10% baseline tariff on all imports into the US from all countries and higher rates on countries with trade surpluses with the US. So if you have a trade surplus, you have to get a punishment. I don't have that's what you want to, that's their call. That's what it's deciding to do. It's working for their people, that's fine, I get that. But here's the blowback that I'm going to talk about, that I need to focus on, and we have to focus on that. It says, some of the highest rates will be, let me see. Please, those who are watching, tap and share the broadcast. You are listening to Citizen Worldwide, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please share, leave comments, and of course, we need to continue to enlighten and empower Africans. And more importantly, on the African continent, I need you to do one thing. I need you to be proud of your ancestral linguistics, your languages. I need you to stand tall and proud. Anybody that is coming onto your continent, they must trade in your language. You must no longer accept that anybody that you're going to trade with on your continent will come and get you to learn their language on your soil. Because the minute you're doing that, you are a slave to their system. You are not in control of what is being done on your soil. And I say it as a Yoruba man, a proud Yoruba man. I speak the Yoruba language. It is in me, and we need to reclaim our continent and our land. It is as simple as that. And that's it. And I make no apologies for standing on that fact. We're not here to try and, like I said, I recognize all of the people. You're US, you are Canada, you are US, UK, you are all of that. And on your soil, you will stand for your people to make sure that the language that they use is what is any business they're going to do is going to be traded in, and it is going to be done on the basis of that language. So why are you telling the supposed sovereign nations, supposed sovereign African nations, oh, you are Anglophone, you are Francophone, you are a US ally, you are all of this, all designed to keep you from exercising and expressing the same thing that you take for granted in Europe and in the US, which is for you, anybody that's going to do any trade with you will have to do it in your language. So that's the one thing that I want, Yeah, so I mean, I'm really sorry. I'm UK, so it is English. Yeah, of course. Look, I'm just stating this. As Africans, many African cultures, we have many kingdoms that pre-existed any of the new kingdoms for thousands of years. Yoruba kingdom, for example, there've been evidence that we've been in existence for over 130,000 years. So I know what I'm saying. The experts among you who are in the US and the UK, you will know what I'm saying. The Yoruba culture has been in existence for at least 130,000 years. Not 13,000, 130,000 years. So these are the things, as an African, I'm telling you what the research that I'm doing, part of the research, and I'm still learning more. There are still more to learn about who we are. So when we are not finding out who we are in our history, we are not able to actually, express ourselves and stand tall on our continent. Like I said, if you in the UK, in US, in Italy, whatever it is they do there as an African, you must, as a matter of course, follow it. You have to, because that is what they do there. But in Africa, the expats, they call themselves expats when they come into the, if you are, when you come into the UK you come as an immigrant. But when Europeans or US come to Africa, the word they use is expats. Why is that? Why? What's the difference? You come to my land, you're a guest. But when I come to your land, I'm an immigrant. So why is it, these are the kind of things that we're really subtle use of words. And that's what I'm saying, that our language, we need to reassert on the African continent. We have to reassert our language on the African continent. No ifs, no buts. As many languages, I'm not, Kalan inactive. I'm Romanian. I hate Europe. No. It's not about hating. Please, I don't want to talk about hating, because it does. It's a negative word. I'm not interested in negative words. I understand you. You can hold that personal view. But what I'm here is espousing the right for Africans to stand tall, because our history has been hidden from us. Our history is in plain sight in front of us, and it's been hidden from us, and we've not been able to connect to it. Now we are beginning to do so. And the likes of, and I say, the work being done by Ibrahim Traore is giving us so much insight into who we are as Africans. And that is much, we need to do more of that work. And those of you watching us on TikTok, please continue to tap and share the screen. Help us grow the platform. And of course, the same thing, those of you on TikTok, give us a thumbs up. The more you give us the thumbs up, the more it reaches more people. And of course, share the broadcast. I'm really grateful. You're listening to Citizen NY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're here to educate and to learn and to interact and learn more. I don't presume to know everything about the Western culture. I know a little bit, but I know a lot about African culture, and I want to know more. And I also talk about things from a point of respect for each other, and that's one of the things that my ancestors. Part of my culture is to respect. And always never overlook or belittle somebody. We always treat people with respect. And that is part of what is in my culture as a Yoruba man. There are certain things that you have to do in a particular way that shows your sign of respect. You may not agree with what is said, and there are different ways you can do it. But those are part of the things that I'm really proud, that makes me proud to know who I am, to be able to stand confidently and speak about this issue without fear nor favor from anybody. So I'm just going to put that out there. But let's carry on. So let's dip into what he said now. He said our country has been looted, pillaged, and raped and plundered by other nations. I find it hard to say that with a straight face. And I think you know why I find it hard. Just okay, as a gentle intro into why I'm laughing. We all know how US was created. It was created on American, not Americans, they call it Indian land. We know the 100 million with the smallpox and all of that stuff, how they took over the land and all of that. So just that alone, it exposes, and it just the statement I just made right now, it actually exposes this thing about this idea when he talked about some of the highest rates we believe in us. So let me just see. One second. I should have highlighted that. Our country, the line is said, our country has been looted, pillaged, plundered by other nations. Please, has any let me see. Yeah, our country has been looted, pillaged, and raped, plundered by other nations. Those are the words of uh, Donald Trump. The question I want to ask is: has as Yoruba people come to U.S. and taken over the land, has as the Zulu people come over to the U.S. and take over, any land, So when he makes that statement, I'm sorry, that statement alone is not based on fact. It isn't based on fact. What evidence of we've been raped and pillaged? It's trying to use the emotions to justify what is clearly a falsehood. It is. Now, okay, let's carry on with that. Let us read that now. So, let me just read that again. So, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, plundered by other nations, Trump said. Taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years. Try over 200 years. Try over 5,000 years. Try the whole continent being carved up since 1884 by people that are not part of that continent. Look, this is, you don't know what you're talking about, Trump. Or if you do know, you are hiding the facts. Because what we are saying here is this: you cannot be talking about this. It's fine to have the interest of your people at heart. That's fine. I get that. But you are doing what you're doing now to keep the oppression of Africans and global South, whilst you can continue with the hegemony of the US dollar, oppressing and suppressing the entire world. And this has got to stop. That game is over. The hegemony is gone. Whether you like it or not, it is not going to happen. The whole world now knows that we have to protect. We can protect our interests just as much as you protect yours, and that starts with you. I'm calling on other countries to support what Ibrahim Traore is doing. We don't need IMF and World Bank. In case you didn't know, IMF and World Bank are part of the same structure, the Western structure of exploiting and getting resources from largely global South at dirt cheap prices, less than even the value of whatever they're taking. That's what they're doing. It is a system. That system is coming crashing down, and that is why BRICS is something that we should welcome. And ultimately, for me, and like Burkina Faso Alliance of Sahel States is saying, we need to have our own African financial structures. We need to have that in place, because what is going on has been injustice. Like I said, when they're telling you as an African, you're coming into Europe, you're an immigrant. But those who are coming from the colonial countries, they are expats. Straight away, you can see there's a game being played here. And that means that you are lesser than in value. When you are an expat, what happens is that the people in those countries, they're like, oh, he's an expat. We welcome them in. But when we go over to this is experiences that we experience at the borders. I'm not saying this is nothing to do with hate. I'm just stating facts. We're stating facts here. So it is time now. Those borders that were created at the 1884 Berlin Conference on the African continent must dissolve. In fact, it is already, and it's already starting in our minds. It's in our minds. And many of us are now taking action. And we just want our people to continue to learn. The more you know these facts, the more empowered you become. The more free your spirit becomes, the more the entire African continent becomes free. So, but anyway, I'll carry on. I digress a little bit. Let me carry on a bit more. Now, it says here, so taxpayers have been ripped off more than 50 years, he added in remarks at the White House, but it's not going to happen anymore. The US have been ripping off. Congo is one glaring example. You cannot dispute that. Congo is being ripped off day by day. In fact, they don't sleep. The airspace over Congo is perhaps one of the busiest in the world. Why is that? Why is that? Why is the airspace over Congo that is supposed to be underdeveloped, having nothing, and they have to help? It's one of the busiest in the world. I'll give you a hint. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the resources. Yes, the ones that they prevent the people of Congo from benefiting from, rightfully. Yes, that is why the US is on the African continent and the other colonial countries. Now you see, there's nothing wrong with you wanting the resources, but when you now oppress the people that own that resources, that's exploitation, that's enslavement, that is what must come to an end. So everything that you see, I'm breaking down, I'm deliberately going into what he's saying, and I'm breaking it down line by line, and you can quote me, and there's enough evidence around the world. I'm sure if you go, just type Congo, see what you find. Congo, Sudan, yeah, Sudan. Yeah, and until recently, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they realized that the bases that was being used when the French and the US said, oh, we are trying to help you, they were being used to monitor them, keep them oppressed while they take the resources. Give you an example. In Niger, 40 years, 40 good years, France went into Niger and they were saying, oh, we are protecting you, we are stopping extremism. And they were looting, they were taking the resources, they were taking uranium from Niger at 70 cents in the euro per kilo. The value of what they were taking out on the open market was 200 euros per kilo. That is exploitation. And this, what is sickening about it is that France, the uranium that was being used to power, to light up the streets of France, came from Ukraine, from Niger. And yet they will tell us that Niger is poor. Tell me, is that not daylight robbery, number one? Two, is that not an attempt to project a negative basis on a country that is clearly rich beyond compare? And that is why we're saying the system that is going on now, the financial system that the US is doing everything to keep in place, is exploitative of the African continent, global South as a whole. And the global South is taking action to say, no, we don't mind trading with you, but it is going to be on our terms. The trade that is going on African continent is not on African terms. It is on the colonial terms. That's the reality of it. You cannot, the trade going on the African continent is on colonial terms, the Western terms. So it's like saying to the US, oh, we want to buy your stuff. We want to buy your stuff, but we are going to tell you the price you're going to pay. Do you think that will fly in the US? Do you think it will fly in the UK? Do you think it will fly in France? Do you think they would even entertain that for 1 second? So why are you intent on keeping this injustice imposed on the people? It's not acceptable. So for me, I'm not even bothered about the tariff. It is now an opportunity for the whole of Africa to look at this entire structure and break it down on the African continent. We don't need to buy. There are alternatives to the US goods. There are alternatives to US goods. China is there. Russia, other countries are there. That is what it should be. We are not going to corner a market. The Bretton Woods Agreement is dead and buried. Whether the US likes it or not. The world knows what is being done. How can it, please explain to me as an African, how it is beneficial on the African continent for the US dollar to be spent buying resources that are meant for Africans? How? Because when you're buying the resources in US dollars, the US dollar keeps the value. That means that they can buy more of that resources on the cheap and impoverishing Africans. That's the reality of what is going on. That is the reality of it. But a lot of people don't want to speak these facts. But we need to speak these facts to existence and to the world, to show what is going on. That we know the system is inherently unjust from the get-go. It is stacked. It is a heavily stacked card against those who owns the resources, which are the Africans. And we're saying enough of this. But anyway, Let me carry on a bit more. It says here, so just taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years. He added in remarks in the White House, but it's not going to happen anymore. Yes, we don't want it to happen anymore on the African continent. And we are, it's not that many of us, many youths are waking up on the African continent now and recognizing that, no, we cannot have this anymore. Sorry about that. Apologies for that. So many on the African continent, I beg your pardon. Oh, I lost what's my picture gone? Let me bring that back. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. So yeah, okay, I'm back now. I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Let me start it up. So yeah, sorry, I lost the picture visuals for a minute, but we're back now. I was just busy talking away and I didn't quite follow what was on the screen. So I do apologize for that. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so yeah, she's dynamic. Yes, yes. Salute to the Namibian president. She actually told the U.S. Anything that you do, we don't want you to come. We rescind any free movement of your people on my land. We don't want, no, we don't want you. And that is what other African continents should do, because, like I said, you see that expat thing that they did. It is so subtle you don't even notice it. And that is it is so subtle that they just say, oh, no, we are expats, you are an immigrant. So when you are an expat, you get the benefits and you get all this red carpet treatment. When you're an immigrant, oh no, treat them like dirt. All of this is to condition the mind to accept a negativity, to accept the oppression, to accept that it's part of what is going to be in your life. Cecil Rhodes said something. He said, you have to teach the people, these Africans, to know that they are going to be working menial labor. What's the effect of you are going to be doing menial labor for the rest of your lives? Cecil Rhodes in 1894. What is happening now in Africa? So when they come and talk to us about all of this, democracy and everything else, it is to impose this injustice on the African continent. And we need to speak about that. And we need to teach our people to be aware of it. Again, that's why I keep saying, on the African continent, we need to speak our language, speak it, because that's where the strength lies. And our people, when we understand and know what is happening in our language, nobody can trick you. Nobody can fool you. When they are forcing you to learn their language, to learn what they want you to learn, and stop you from thinking outside the box yourself, then exploitation is happening. Africa has been exploited for so long. He said 50 years. Try 200 years. Try 5,000 years. Yes, facts. I've got evidence to back what I'm saying. Anybody wants to ask, please ask, and I will dig up quite a few. But anyway, so now let's go on to what he said there, and I want to just read a bit more about what he said there, and if I can come back briefly. Where is it now? Here we are. I think I got it back. Okay. So now he now goes on to say some of the highest rates will be levied on smaller countries, with goods from Southern Africa nation Lesotho facing 50%. What did I just say? I remember I spoke moments ago about South Africa. South Africa today, the Western system is making sure that the land that belongs to South Africans, black South Africans who are from that land, they are only able to be on 20% of their own land. 72 to 75% of the land that is belonging to indigenous black Africans is in the hands of the colonials or their descendants. Fact. Please go and research and come back to me if you doubt it. Anywhere in the world. Anybody in the world, please go and question, review, research what I'm saying, and come back to me if you have a question, and we can have a discussion. That's a fact. So when he talks about, this is all a game. Just to be there again, they are going to tax South Africa and Lesotho. And no doubt, the reason why they're talking about South Africa is that because a lot of people are saying, no, we want to have the land reform. We have to do the land appropriation, because the injustice is built in the system, and that system is backed by the US, the UK. Don't believe in all of what they're telling you. We believe in fairness and everything else. they are backing that to the hill because the areas in South Africa where the colonials have kept their descendants are resource-rich areas. Please go check it. Please go and do the research on what I'm saying. I'm not, go and do the research and come back to me and doubt. And if you say and prove, bring the evidence of if contrary to what I'm saying. The areas where the colonials or the white South Africans are populating are areas where there is high concentration of resources that belongs to Africans. So when they now say, no, we need to read, it's time to have the talk about the land redistribution, Harry Brendel, they're trying to do it and they're being stopped. When they're trying to do it now, Trump says, oh, the South Africans are being bad to the South African whites. That's what he says. That's what he says. Meaning that they don't want that system to change. Let me see if I can dig up something on air for those of you who are on TikTok. I want to just show you something because I'm not talking, I don't want to, I'm not interested in spreading rumor. I only speak on facts and something that I can back because I don't believe in just spreading it. It's not going to serve any purpose. We are here to educate ourselves, to learn and to improve, the lot of the people on the African continent as far as I'm concerned, and to make sure that we are in a fairer and just world. This injustice cannot allow to be perpetuated under the guise of democracy, rule of law, rule based, and all of that nonsense, which is a spiel. They are just spiel to me. But anyway, let's carry on. Let me do this. So let me just type something up here. 72% of the land. Let me just type that up. 72% of the land in South Africa. Is in the hands of the colonials. Yeah, I want to just bring something up of the colonials. I want to just show you that. So because when it says and they're trying to spread the rumor that Africans, the people in South Africa are being bad to Africans. How can it be right that there is a community in South Africa right now, Orenge or something, where it is only whites allowed to be in there? Please explain that. Riddle me that one. Knowing fully well that the indigenous people that land belongs to are black South Africans. How can that be right? But they don't talk about that. Let me show you briefly, those of you who are on TikTok, and I'll read it out. So I just did something here. As you're watching, please tap and share the broadcast to help us with more people. I know it's I have not been able to do much of what I want to do as much as I would like to, but sometimes it's not easy. I want to show you this now. South Africa, I talk about South Africa because it's important to understand when they're talking about there's a DA group called DA. You cannot justify an injustice. South Africa, the land belongs to Zulu. You heard me. Zulu. The land belongs to the Zulu people of South Africa. Doesn't belong to Transvaal and all of those. No, it belongs to the Zulu. They've been there for thousands of years and it's been taken away from them. And that's the reality of it. So bringing that, and that ties back to when he's trying to talk about this issue. I'm trying to bring that in again. In addition, White House, 20% tariff, China, Vietnam, Lesotho. It talks about Lesotho and other exporters. And then it talks about, now, let me go into the list a bit more. Before I go into that list of people, of countries in Africa, let us read this. The statement, 70% of the land in the hands of colonials refers to the historical and ongoing issue of land ownership in South Africa, where a 2017 audit revealed that 72% of the farmland was owned by white individuals who make up a small percentage of the population, while black South Africans, the majority of the population, own only 4%. That's the injustice that we're talking about. That's the injustice. But Trump is not going to talk about that. He doesn't want a light to be shone on that, because that will show. And South Africa, I want you to know that the South African ones are backed. It's pretty much like what is happening in Israel. They're backed heavily by the West because of the mineral resources, the gold and everything else that is in South Africa. Why? Because of their skin color. Yeah, well, I presume so. They can explain. They have to explain that to me. You know, I'm giving you facts. So you see, when he makes statements like that, we can pick. I'm showing you glaringly where the fault lines is, the areas they don't want you to discuss. But we need to have that discussion. We must have it among ourselves as Africans and to educate ourselves so that when we now make decisions, we now know, we can see that Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Tiani, they are totally justified in staying away, not going anywhere near the IMF or the World Bank, because they are a debt system. They're a debt entrapment system designed to keep the resource-rich countries in Africa and the global south, to keep them in a debt cycle so that their resources never benefit their people. And we have to put a stop to that injustice. We just simply have. We shouldn't be playing the game. That's a game. We should no longer play their game. We need to create our own system. And anybody that wants to trade with Africa has to conform with African system on the African continent. End of story. That is what we need to do. And that is why I'm supporting Ibrahim Traore in what he's advocating. I am also, at the same time, please, if you haven't signed the petition that I put together for him to be the president of all of Africa, please help us sign it. He is the best man that we need, that has with Africa. And please, we need to protect him. We already know that there's been so many attempts on his life. There's been so many attempts on the life of Ibrahim Traore. And, he's got the great group of people around him protecting him. We need men like that. There are many more in Africa, trust me, but many of them have been silenced because the puppet structure, the puppets who the West have put into the system. In Congo, for example, I mean, just look at what is happening in Congo. Everybody in Congo should be billionaires. No question. By dint of the resources in Congo. But Congo is where they will come. Oh, we want to help you. We get medical intervention. We get a financial intervention. Or we get a military intervention. All of that is stripping the people of Congo of their wealth. Stripping. But it's not addressing any of that. Let's carry on. Okay, so let me just read it again. In addition to the countries of the that the White House described as worst offenders, including European Union facing 20% tariffs, China facing 34% tariffs, Vietnam and Lesotho, as well as other US, here are all African countries on the Trump's preliminary list. Botswana 37%, South Africa 30%, Tunisia 28%, Cote d'Ivoire 21%, Egypt 10%, Morocco 10%. Though Nigeria and other African countries exported to the US escaped Trump's supplementary list, his 10% baseline tariff on imports from all countries still affects them. So even in Nigeria, we were going to face a 10%. He can tax whatever he wants on the tariff. But I'm even taking, what I'm saying is we need to pull back and actually have a larger discussion than this. The resources that they're using. Like I said, the skies over Congo is one of the busiest in the world. And all they're doing, they're literally flying in, taking resources and not paying a penny for it. I kid you not. The Western countries are literally flying in and taking resources without paying a penny. They fly in, take the resources and fly out. France, UK, US, all of them. It is one big, if you want, one big smorgasbord, if you want to say it that way. One big looting party. But this is not the discussion that is being had. And that is why we, on the African continent, we need to begin to support Ibrahim Traore, who you see behind me in the picture there, and those of you on TikTok. You see him there, and that's why he's a pride of place. He's a man that's standing and telling the coming generation how they need to really stand for themselves. How we need to make sure that the resources on the African continent benefit Africans first. And we need to, I'll come back and talk a bit more. Let me just read this a bit more now. So, Botswana, 37%, South Africa, 30%, Tunisia, 28%, Cote d'Ivoire, 21%. Let me see. Egypt 10%, Morocco 10%, Nigeria and other countries 10%. You know, so all of this is trying to portray a mess. This thing of America has been done by. How about so many African presidents have been unalive? What about Libya? Who's paying for the consequences of what US did to Libya in cahoots with France? Who's paying for it? Which of the African the colonials are paying for what has been done to Libya to damage Libya today? The water irrigation system that Gaddafi put in place, they made sure it was brought down to create a dependency culture on the structures that they created. Look, we all know we're not kids here. We know we see what you're doing. The whole world is seeing what you're doing. And they don't want to play this game anymore. We're not playing this game anymore. This is an injustice. So whether you like it or not, many countries are going to move, you know. Yeah, war it never changes. So we have to put a stop to this nonsense. So stop telling us, oh, Gaddafi was bad. Stop telling us, oh, Thomas Sankara was bad. Stop telling us, even, you know, oh, Ugandan guy. Oh, it come to me now. Anyway, I remember his name. All of the things that they're doing, you know, to have this negative image and then justify the continued exploitation of Africa. It must stop. So we need to really be aware in our communities. We must stand up because the structure that they're putting in place depends on them being able to continue to handpick puppets to run the so-called sovereign nations. Yes, they are not sovereign nations. They're puppet nations. They're nations that they're resource collection points. So when you see the leader, like, I mean, look at the leader of Congo. He's a puppet. He's a puppet. That's straight facts. You know, and that's what I'm saying. You know. Yeah, they are strong because because of our resources. We need a leader, not an obeying soldier. Thank you very much. You can see that Ibrahim Traore is using his mind. He's thinking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps ahead of these guys. He sees. Look, his vision is dizzying. Look, I'm close to 60, and this man is barely 35 years old. Look at what he's achieved in 2 years. Give him 5 years. What do you will not recognize Burkina Faso. Again, Assimi Goïta, the same thing. You are not going to recognize Mali in 5 years. Again, Niger, you will not recognize Niger in 5 years. Because what they have done, the first thing they've done is provide security. If we are going to protect our resources, then we are going to need our own viable security force in place. In Nigeria, as I speak to you right now, there is a what do you call it? Intergroup war going on right now in Nigeria, whereby the houses, not the Fulanis, are using the guise of, oh, we're herders, so we need to feed our cows. They need to survive, so they go into the farmland of many southern countries, southern groups, Yorubas and Igbos, and and Bono and Middle East, Middle Belt, and they go in there, and under the guise of using the feeding their cows, they're taking over land, farming land. Now, what that does is two things. One, you chase the people away from their land. You take the land. Two, you create famine. You create impoverishment. The people are not able to feed themselves. And all of this is being funded by the West. Look, the minute, I'll give you evidence of this. The minute that France and US was kicked out, and Netherlands and the UK were kicked, and Germany, as soon as they were kicked out of Burkina Faso, within 2 years, Burkina Faso reclaimed over from 40% territory control, they have over 80% territory control right now in Burkina Faso. And those terrorists that could no longer stay in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria, guess where they are now? They're in Nigeria. Funded by the Western structures. The weapons, those terrorists are walking around with weapons funded by the Western structures. So clearly, the plan is to keep Africa impoverished and to remain underdeveloped so the exploitation of the resources can continue. This is not something we can continue to accept anymore. And we have a blueprint, we have a clear plan under what Alliance of Sahel States is doing. Protecting their people. Look, he's building hospitals, he's building schools, he's building roads, he's creating jobs, he's supporting innovation. They are self-sufficient in food. All in 2 years. But yes, the West will say, oh, come and take an IMF loan, take a World Bank loan, and then you are indebted for 15 years. They even came on a live TV program in Nigeria. They said, oh, the IMF and World Loan, yeah, it will get the result in 15 years. Something that Burkina Faso has achieved in 2 years. Please, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? That's why I have that song that you hear me sing. I'm going to just put the line up. I want to stop for a second, have a sip of water while you're hearing it. Let me see. So let's play this a bit. Is that okay? Yeah, repeat on. So how long will I go to suffer? It's a song I wrote. So I'm sorry if it's not very loud here. I'm trying to make it work. So how long we will continue to suffer? So that's the question. Let me just have a sip of water whilst I speak. A minute. How long una go dey suffer? My people, we don't tire inside Nigeria. Na slave camp we dey oh. My people, we don't tire for the country where them they call Nigeria. Na slave camp oh. The time don't knock where we suppose. Stand up for our rights oh. Stand up for our rights oh. The time don't knock where we suppose. Stand up oh, for our rights oh, for self-determination. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go they suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long we will continue to suffer like this? So like I said, a lot of people don't connect the divisions that is happening, the inter-community clashes. They don't connect it to what is happening on the African continent. But what has happened in Burkina Faso, there is a group called the Lakurawa. They were chased out of Burkina Faso by the forces of Ibrahim Traore. They were chased out of Mali. They were chased out of Niger. They are now in Nigeria as we speak. Yes. And they've joined hands with the ISWAP and Boko Haram in Nigeria. These are things, Oh, can I send it? Oh, it's a song I wrote, Sink of Indigo. I will put it on the link. Let me see if I can get the link up. You will see it on the link. It's a song I wrote. You can download it on iTunes or Spotify. Let me see if I can get it up. Thank you very much. Yes. So it's a song I wrote about the concerns that we have. You can download the song on iTunes or Spotify right now. It is a song I wrote. It's called How Long Una Go Dey Suffer. Please help me download it on iTunes and Spotify and help us reach more people with it, because the message it talks about Nigeria, but it's really about the whole of Africa. We Africans have been denied our right to self-determination for so long that it's now our second nature to accept that we don't have rights on our own continent, and we need to say no more. We have rights. We must exercise those rights. That land is connected to us. That is our ancestral land, and we are reclaiming it on the African continent. We're not coming to Europe. We're not coming. We are just on our land. We must reclaim what is ours. So this is thank you very much, Cinvio Indigo. Thank you. Let me just get that up for you quickly if I can. If I can get the song, I'll go on and on. I'll put the link up for the Apple, on the Apple thing. Let me see if I can find it. So let me just tap that on. Okay, yeah, let's see if it comes up. So I'll just simply give you that link, and you can see it on Apple Music. Yeah, it is on Apple Music. So I am going to put that link up right now. You will see it, those of you on YouTube. So just go and download it. That's and hopefully, because it will help us. We need to do. We need to get. We want to reach. We want to be going to Burkina Faso and giving you updates, Mali and Niger, and we need a team of people to be doing that. So obviously, it can't be done by one person. So and people who are committed to the struggle. So that's what we're really trying to put in place there. Because it is no longer about just talking now. It's about what action we are prepared to take as Africans. We are resource endowed. There's no doubt about that. It's not even a debate now. But what's been happening is that it's been a clever plan to keep us, divided, while the exploitation has just been, going like crazy. So please download. Download. How long una go dey suffer? You will see it. Una go dey suffer. So you'll see it. I'll see those of you who are on TikTok. I might share it with you on the screen. Suffer on Apple on this link. So I will just put this link. Yeah. Okay. So you will see it come up now. Paste. Okay. So if you go to Apple and download that, that will help. I'm trying to. Sorry about that. Whoa, sorry. Copy. I got the wrong one. Not that one. Will you let me do it? Yeah, I should do. Okay, that's it. So you have the Apple Music. It's on Apple Music. So those of you on YouTube, you can see it right now. It is on there. Let me pin that up as a thing, so you can just simply go on there and download it. It's really important song, and you'll be helping this platform, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you very much, Sinovia Indigo. We need more people to join us and subscribe. Please also consider subscribing to us and becoming a member on YouTube, becoming subscribing to us on TikTok, and also on Facebook. If you can subscribe, the more you can do that, the better. So let us carry on, and thank you for actually asking. Sometimes I just focus on the main goal for me is really looking at the whole of Africa, but obviously the things we need some levers to be able to pull ourselves to get those things working. One of them is using the talents that we have. Thank you very much, to be able to support our goal. Our goal is to ensure that the whole of Africa is aware, we are proud of our languages, and we're able to reclaim our land and use the resources to benefit our people. And we have to support, and we want free trade, we want security for our people. It's time for Africa to rise and shine and be independent and remove this label of dependency, and all of that stuff. We need to remove that. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, Sinovia Indigo. Thank you. And others as well, you can download the song right now. Just go on iTunes. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let us carry on with what we're saying about the discussions. And of course, those of you who are on TikTok, just go to Apple Music. Type How Long Una Go Dey Suffer. It's on there. Help us. You can do that, and that would be great. We are really appreciative of that. Okay, now, so it says here, though Nigeria and other countries are exporting to the US, they escaped the supplementary list. 10% baseline tariff on all imports from other countries still affects them. In 2022, listen to this. So, Nigeria was the second US export destination in sub-Saharan Africa. So we are the second export destination, but yeah, we're still being hit with the 10% tariff. But if you think about it, it is crazy, because this is why I keep saying that we do need leaders with vision like Ibrahim Traore. We don't need to. Why are we having to export all the way to to allow others to import things to us when we have the resources? We are close to the resource where the resources. We can make the finished goods, and we save the towing and froing. In Nigeria, crazy enough, we would rather export raw material, which is bought cheaply, than process finished goods and charge a price that we want for it. This is the mentality of the puppets that we have in government, and they believe so. I was listening to a news the other day, and they were talking about getting the local governments to now have access to international loans, to be able to go on the world international loans, and so that means they want to deepen the clause of the Western structures in this system on the continent. We must follow what Ibrahim Traore is doing. Ibrahim Traore just says, nah, listen, no. We are not interested in any of this. We want no part of it. We don't want your loan. We don't want your mining business to come, because the mining industries, Canada and Mali, they were taking the resources of the Malians. They were taking 80% of the profits and giving them barely 20%. Likewise in Burkina Faso, likewise in Niger, the same thing. No doubt in Congo, if you go and look at the Congo, the same thing is happening. So wherever you look in Africa, the financial structures that is operated on the African continent exploit Africa. Front, back, center, middle, all 24, all year round, all relentlessly, remorselessly. So we need to address this. First is the people who are affected by this are not aware, because that information that I'm giving to you now about the exploitation is hidden from them by the puppets, the puppets that the colonial structures have imposed on the people. That is what is going, this is thank you very much, those of you, African Revolution, Revolution. Let me see if I can bring you on board. And I'm trying to read as more questions. So I haven't said any swear word, but they've been telling me now that for some reason they blocked me. It doesn't. I'm not able to reach more audience on TikTok. I will bring others on. I just wanted to just show this anyway. Aboki, yes, thank you very much for that. So when we are talking about this, so the tariffs, for me, it is time for Africa to actually look at inwards. We have to look inwards. The lines, the borders on the African continent are not African. They are colonial structure. They're colonial borders designed to keep Africa divided so that they can extract the resources, And these are the things that we have to address. We need to address it. So we have Africans who are hands in these businesses. Let them join our vision. African Revolution. Thank you very much for that. In fact, let me give a round of applause for that. I'm going to try and, So we need to speak up about this. Notice I'm not here getting angry and sweating and eyes bulging and I hate this. It's not. It's a low vibration energy. That's a low vibration. When you are operating from an angry point of view, it's a low vibration. The message that you're going to get out there, it's going to be a negative message. I want to put out, and I believe firmly in that, in putting out positive energy messages to make our people think for themselves, do for self. The system has made Africans believe that we are powerless, and that's one of the things that we have to get, to put a stop to. We have to make sure that our people understand going forward that you have everything you need right now. Anybody telling you that Africa is poor, just know that they're lying to you. They are lying to you to your face. They are trying to keep you entrapped, enslaved in that system, to keep you in not thinking past what they have told you about yourself. We have to go on an individual self-discovery voyage as Africans. connect with our ancestors. Our ancestors has the key. The solution to all our problems lies in our DNA. I keep saying that. I keep saying it's in our DNA, and we need to tap into it. You know, it's not by accident that you see African kids who's never been to any university anywhere. They will suddenly come and design a new phone. I saw one that would design a new phone that you didn't have to use any internet with. You know, that you didn't have to connect to any internet. You can just go into it allows you to go on the internet free. In fact, let me get that out and read that to you. So I don't come on here and just talk. I do a lot of research, and I bring that to us so that we know what is going on and be able to play a more active role and begin to re-educate our thinking. And please, I encourage you as an African, your language, Ede Oshepataki. Okay, African Evolution, no worry. Thank you very much. Thank you for the comment, and I appreciate you. Please, those of you watching, we welcome gifts if you can. Aboki, you give us something. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Please continue to give the platform. You are, of course, listening to Citizen Airwire, the platform where we speak with power. Let me just quickly give you the information that I saw yesterday. And I thought, I always look out for that. There are many African kids. The Zimbabwean guy, he didn't go to school. But look at what he's designing, what he's coming up with. This is something that's in our DNA. When there's a problem, you have the know-how to solve that problem. It is in us. We need to tap into it. The system that we're growing up in has been made us to believe that Africans are powerless, Africa are poor, Africa, everything negative about ourselves. So we don't even begin to use our innate abilities that is within us, as in and each and every African. And we need to change that. And it's not those who are continuing to pump out the negative message and keep us asleep and in the lower vibration, they will continue to do that. But we need to rise above that through spreading message and knowledge among ourselves so that we can re-educate the coming generation to break free from the shackles of this colonial structure that is imprisoning our minds and the continent psychologically. Yes, we have loads of oil right now in Africa, in Nigeria. There's still loads of oil. That's not that's so let me just read this to you. I'll read this to you about the young man. Okay, yes. A Namibian young man again. So I will show you that. So a Namibian teenager has made waves by building a SIM-free phone that can make calls without the need for an airtime or a network connection. This innovative device uses a unique technology that bypasses traditional communication systems, offering a solution for areas with limited or no coverage. His invention has the potential to revolutionize communication, especially in remote locations where connectivity is a challenge. The remarkable achievement showcases the power of creativity and problem solving in addressing global tech challenges, a step closer to bringing bridging the communication gap. So that's the young boy there. Those of you who are on TikTok, you'll be able to see the picture there. That's him there. Without this is in Africa. So I'm telling you, we have the solution. We are at the beginning of everything on the African continent, and I don't say that lightly, and I'm not saying to brag or to boast. But we have to understand the enormity of who we are. As somebody said something here, understanding from Australia in issue with our mutual exploitative trade partners. We have to protect our youth. Yes, Synovia Indigo. Yes, you're right. We have to protect them. I know it's a double-edged sword now. You see the picture, and I'm concerned. But to be honest, when I put the picture up, I'm thinking, am I? But it's out there. But what we need to do, the best way we can protect our African youth now, is make sure that we protect them. We now restore order and balance on the African continent, whereby we are in control of our resources. We are in control of the borders. We take control of the financial structures. We decide what the value of what we are selling. We decide who comes into Africa and who comes out. We are not going to allow the colonial structures to be dictating to us what happens on our continent. And that is what we need. When we do that, in Burkina Faso, for example, over half a million Burkinabes have gone back home because the job creation that is created. In one day, he created 8,000 jobs in farming. They're using farmers, they're using prisoners to farm you know, and the prisoners are learning a new skill. Many of them didn't have the skill. They are learning a new skill. Many of them have said when they finish serving their sentence, they are going straight into farming because they see the government is going to support farmers. And look, what do we really want? You know, what is, oh, hello? Can you hear me? No sound? Did you say no sound? Hang on. No, I can, oh, hang on. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Sorry. I think you can. Sorry, it was slightly louder. Okay. Apologies. So no, but can you hear me now? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Hello? I think you can hear me. Okay. Okay, that problem is solved on the TikTok. Apologies for that. Apologies for the break. I didn't realize. Okay, so now, so what I'm saying is that on the African continent, what we need to do is to really make sure that going forward now, our role is to empower the youth on the African continent to know that they have a lot to offer, that they are just as important as any other kid from any other part of the world, that they are not to be viewing themselves, they're not to view themselves as lesser than, and that they have something to offer, and that they should expect their government to provide the basic infrastructure needs: roads, water, light, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety, security. These are the things that they are entitled to as citizens of the African continent. And I want to really reiterate that. And critically, in our local languages, we need to continue to promote that, because our language is the key to restoring balance. When we're speaking our languages on our continent, we're claiming back our powers over our land, over our territory. It doesn't mean that I'm not saying you shouldn't learn French or English, but any child on the African continent, the first thing they must learn is learn their own language and use it, and everything. They must be, you can teach in Yoruba, you can teach sciences, you can teach biology, chemistry, and physics in Yoruba language. All in Yoruba, not even speaking a word of English. You can, I kid you not. And that can happen in all languages. So these are the things that I'm really advocating for. So for me, hang on. Okay, I'm going to try again. So for me, I do not fear the tariffs. I don't fear it. I think we need to, it's our mindset. It's all about the mindset. Those who are putting the tariffs, they are working on the assumption that you as an African will not challenge what is being said. You will accept what they are put forward to you, you know, and okay. So can you hear me? Hang on. Yes, you can. Okay. Just testing it. So we have to begin to change that mindset. So like I said, the tariffs that has been put forward now, whereby they put in a minimum of 10% on everybody, that's fine. But then how about we should be putting a tariff on all of those countries that are coming to exploit Africa, take our resources on the cheap. We need to put a tariff on them. And more importantly, we should actually stop we should put a stop to any to exporting of our resources, because we need it first on the African continent. Yes, we do. Our people have been denied that access to those resources by the systems put in place by the colonial structures, the IMF, the World Bank, the monetary structure, the colonial structure in terms of education, the religious structures. All of that has been constraining the development of Africa, and it is now being evidenced by what you see happening. I'll give you an example. The judges in Burkina Faso now, they are now wearing African caps, designed, in the ancient African caps for judges. That's what they're wearing. Because that is reclaiming your identity, your structure, your land. Because now whatever you do, there is no higher power than the African judges in Burkina Faso than those judges. None. There's no higher forces in the world. None. Because the people are connecting back to who they are. When you're wearing a foreign wig, you are ultimately giving power. You're not just wearing a wig. When you're wearing the wig that's been designed in Europe, you're not just giving the decision as a judge and go, okay, I made a judgment. You will now hear the judge say, oh, in the case that was in London in 1945, they said X, Y, and Z. That is their reference point. You see what I'm saying? The colonial structure becomes your reference point. But when you're wearing your African attire and you're dressed in your African way, your reference point becomes your ancestors, what your ancestors did before. It's really important what you wear. It's very, very important. All of these are key things. These are subtle things. There are symbolisms that are often powerful that many of us have not noticed. But he has not escaped Ibrahim Traore. He understands the power of symbolism. He understands perfectly when he does this, what impact it will have on his people. These are so intricate. If you are easily gullible, you will miss it. Oh, it doesn't mean anything. But wait, your decisions is being linked to something that's outside of yourself, meaning that you are incapable, meaning that your system is reliant on a foreign system for making decisions that's going to impact local people. Ultimately negative for you, and it has financial impact. You're buying all of this stuff from the Western countries. You buy the wheat, you buy all of that from them. That is resources leaving your land. Deprogramming the mind. Why in Africa people are poor? Why are people in America poor? Exactly. So these are the things that we need to really talk about and expatiate on. So please share the broadcast. I really am grateful that many of you are following what we're saying on YouTube and on TikTok, and we need to do more. There's a lot more for us all to do. But like I said, the message that I want to pass on to all of us here watching, do not be afraid of the tariff. If you're an African nation, use it now as an opportunity to now realign Africa. We need to realign Africa. We need to actually close Africa, the border. China closed its borders for 10 years. They did. And when they came out, look at what happened. China closed the borders, closed everybody out for 10 years. And when they came out again, look at what happened. China is now leading the world. They are out competing the US. So the US cannot compete, so what do? Tariffs. We must close border. Those tariffs, mustn't fear it. We mustn't fear it. We need to now use it as to recognize that whatever is being produced in the US is dependent on our resources. And we must start controlling. Instead, we need to start putting controls. Put ourselves in a situation where we are able to control what comes into Africa and what goes out, and at what quantity. We need to establish control. That means that we are reasserting our authority over our land. And that is what Ibrahim Traore is doing. France is till today. France is trying to say, oh, we want can we have Air France come back to trade? And I don't think you understand trade. Oh, okay, of course I don't understand trade. But what I do know, the trade that I do know of, is being exploitative. The trade that is going on the African continent right now, nobody 69, is exploitative of Africa. That much I do know. Even you will have to agree with that, because the value of the resources that's being taken out of Africa by dint of the stronger dollar, stronger pound, stronger euro, means that our African currencies are lower. For example, the Naira up until recently is only about 0.001, not even up to a cent in the dollar. So when you buy petrol, when you buy oil, when you come and buy Nigerian oil, the US are buying on the cheap. They will pay $72,000 naira for a barrel, and that is less than 20 pounds, 20 or something thereabouts. I don't know, 20 or 30 pounds, something like that, for a barrel. So it means you can buy more barrel. So I don't know what you're talking about, and Nobody 69, but trade that has been going on the African continent has been exploitative, both in people and in resources. And that's what we're trying to address. So I'm happy to discuss with you, but I don't know it all. I don't claim to. But what I do know is the impact of this unfair trade on the African continent. Africa is being exploited hand over fist. I don't think anybody can dispute that. That's the reality. And what we're saying is it is time for us to begin to have that open discussion and support the likes of Ibrahim Traore. Again, I'm saying it. All of the one simple message that I would have for all Africans right now who are listening to me: you start watching your government. If they are taking loans from IMF or World Bank, they are preventing your country from developing. You will not have water. You will not have roads. You will not have light. You will not have schools. You will not have bridges. Because those IMF and World Bank, they are designed to keep you in a debt cycle. A debt cycle. So, and they say it's a trade. Oh, we are trading. That trade is a disadvantageous trade. It's a trade exploiting you and getting you to pay money for what you can never ever match up to, because they are exploiting you. That is the reality of it. So when we talk about these things, I'm glad that Nobody 69 said, I don't know, I don't think you understand trade. Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to claim that I know anything. I don't know it. But what I do know is the impact of that trade on our people on the African continent, and why we need to now make changes. So everybody watching me in all parts of that continent now, your government, you need to start watching your government. Are they taking notes from IMF? If they are, make comparisons with what is happening in Burkina Faso. Why is it that Burkina Faso, they bring in equipment, roads, to build roads, to build bridges, to build to farm the farms, to build buildings, to big equipment, major equipment. But when you go to the IMF loans, how many equipment comes into those countries? Do you see big equipment going into those countries? Yes or no? That is it. So watch that. Those who are taking IMF loans, it doesn't result in heavy equipment coming into your country. You, the people, beginning to work and actually build their communities and being part of the building structures. It doesn't. But in Burkina Faso, that's exactly what you get. The Ibrahim Traore, next time I will do the broadcast, I will come and I will play you a video where he is walking. There's a place where it's full of equipment. You name it. Mobile hospitals. Please tell me, which of the countries taking IMF loans? Which of the 10 countries taking IMF loans? Let me have a sip of water. Which of them have got equipment working in communities? Which of them that is comparable to what Ibrahim Traore is doing right now? I'll wait. Which of them has got equipment working, going, farming, building hospitals? Which of them is provided as we speak? Ibrahim Traore is building homes for the homeless in Burkina Faso, and the people are the ones building it. He's empowering his people, whatever way you want to look at this. So the kind of trade, of course, I don't know about the kind of trade that you talked about, Nobody 69. I don't know about that because it's not, the impact of that trade has not been felt on the ground in Africa. We've been doing IMF loans since the 70s. Please tell me how many countries have developed in Africa on the basis of IMF loan and World Bank. I'll wait. Bring the evidence. I'm not going to argue. I will wait. Since the 70s, when they come with the structural adjustment program, when they devalued the rate of many of the African countries, because they realized that the value of the currencies that they were trading, in which they were buying the resources from Africa, if they kept that, they won't be able to afford buying the resources. Oh man, you guys don't understand. I don't know anything. Me, I don't know anything. I don't know. I know nothing. So you're right. But I'm just saying that it's important that we begin to, those of us who are, particularly those of us who are in diaspora, get this message to your people. Get them to understand that getting any loan from IMF or World Bank is a threat to the development of your so-called nation. It's a threat to it. They are economic assassins. They come dressed nicely in the front. Yes, and then they put you in debt for 15 years. In 2 years, what you should be achieved in 2 years, in 15 years, you will never achieve it. And they will tell you, oh, give you another 50 more years. It's all a debt cycle. Whereas if you look at what Burkina Faso is doing, Mali is doing, Niger is doing, they are building, there's a massive road construction going on now in Niger because they're in control of the resources. The massive road construction going on now in Burkina Faso. Hospitals, they're building 55 hospitals. And likewise, they're doing road construction and building in Burkina Faso, in Mali. All of it because they have the governance now that is providing that security for them to be able to now build. The democracies that has been imposed on Africa, the democracies have been designed to ensure that it causes chaos. I don't support democracy. It causes chaos on the African continent. So much so that the people are so focused on the system and maintaining that system than actually seeing the real development that is most important, i.e. the roads, the water, you know those things, the schools, the bridges, the healthcare, all of those things. It never gets within grasp in democracies. Never. Name the country. Yes, you're going to try and come and talk to me about Rwanda. Yes, they've done that to a certain extent. But I'm telling you, in majority of countries in Africa right now, taking IMF and World Bank loans, it has ended in impoverishment in Africa. And those IMF and World Bank are tied to the so-called democracy. That's the reality of it. That is the reality. And if we are going to be frank with ourselves, we need to address that. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore has shown us, without taking a loan from IMF and World Bank, look at the development going on. Look at the honesty, the sincerity, the drive. And we must protect Ibrahim Traore. Salute Ibrahim Traore. Salute Ibrahim Traore. Salute to this great man. What he's doing is astonishing on one level, but on another level, it's not. It is innate. It is innate. But if we allow these puppets to continue to run Africa for the colonials, Africa won't develop. Thank heavens we now, thankfully, we now see the evidence of a good governance in 3 countries. Mali, Assimi Goïta. Niger, General Chiani. Burkina Faso, Assimi Goïta. Those 3, they are showing us what good governance looks like. They are not interested in this democracy, the idea of democracy, taking the mind of the people over. We have to be democratic. We have to be democratic. And they forget the essential. What is the end game? Are we getting the roads? Are we getting the water? Are we getting the light? Are we getting the schools? Are we getting the bridges? Are we getting the healthcare? Are we getting the security? If you answer to those in Africa right now, in overwhelming 80 to 90% of the so-called democracies is no, then we don't need your democracy. You can stick your democracy in the place where the sun don't shine. Yes, I said it. You could stick that democracy in the place where the sun don't shine. Because the ultimate fact is this. Where you're telling us that Ibrahim Traore is not democratic, is not everything else. Yes, he's not. And we don't want him to be democratic. But the impact on his people is strongly felt. In a land where they were not able to grow anything, according to the Western experts. You can't grow anything in Burkina Faso. Oh, they're growing everything. They're growing tomatoes. They're growing corn. They're growing yam. They're growing rice. They're growing onions. They're growing so much so they're exporting. He's confounding their so-called preconceived ideas. Because Africa, he thinks beyond that. He sees, he's not in their box. He's not in the box that they put him in one corner. No, you do this. Now you do. No. He's dictating what happens. That's why I am always waxing lyrical about Ibrahim Traore. And we all, as Africans, must protect him. Please. Anytime you hear any negative news about Ibrahim Traore anywhere, come out on your show. Don't wait for, I come out and debunk it. I do the research. We counter it. And please, we make sure that the people of Burkina Faso continue to protect him, continue to get around him, make sure that none of the Western powers ever have any chance of doing anything to him. We know what they've done to Gaddafi. We know what they've done to Thomas Sankara. We know what they've done to Ahmed Cabral. We know what they've done to all of the African Gaddafi and others, because they want their idealism of a failing Africa is what they want to prevail. And when they see others going against it, you know, do you know what democracy means? Oh, please tell me. Nobody 69. Please tell me. You know, like I don't know anything. Tell me. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Kazaji Kalonji. Tell me what democracy looks like. But please answer me this question, nobody 69. Is democracy, has it ever worked in Africa? Yes or no? Has it ever worked in Africa? Yes or no? That's a simple question. I'm not shouting. We're just here to debate. If democracy, again, you are proving what I said. You are looking at it from an idealistic point of view. This is what democracy is going to do. It will bring you this. The reality is what I'm looking at. The democracy that you speak of, nobody 69, that democracy has impoverished Africa. And when the democracy doesn't work, they even bring NGOs. Do you know the NGOs are there not to help Africa free, to keep us dependent? It's another way to keep Africa dependent. Oh, when they see it's not, oh, people are going to complain. Oh, we're going to bring people to help. But the help is actually there to support the insurgents. The NGOs are supporting the groups who the military, who the Western colonials give weapons to destroy farmland, to destroy communities. So look. So what democracy are you talking about again? What democracy is that? I'd like to know. Tell me more. I'm curious. Yeah, I'd like to know. And nobody 69 on YouTube, that is. So yeah, I welcome discussions and we can have that. You know, it's never worked. Yes, Karadzi Kalonji. Yeah, and it will never, exactly, has never worked in Africa, and I mean never. Thank you very much. That is Abu Ahmed Amreki. Look, please, every African that's watching me now, begin to talk to your people at home in your language. Tell them anything to do with IMF, Abi World Bank. I'm saying it in my language because I want you to speak to your people in your language. Our people need to know this in the language, because when you're speaking English, they don't understand what it means. They can say IMF, oh, it's good. Okay, they say it's good, they'll accept it. But when they understand what IMF is designed to do, to impoverishment in them in the language, they will not allow the government to go and speak. They will say, no, we don't want it. You see, language is being used to control Africa. It's a control tool. When you are speaking French, you speak in English. The people who they want to control cannot understand it. But the people who are in the pocket, the puppets, they use it to tell the people, and they will accept it. That's what it means. We need to break that. The more on African continent we speak a language, the more we are in control of what happens to us. And the people in the communities will not accept it. But if they don't know what many of the communities in Africa, in those African countries, they don't know what the government has signed up to. They don't know. They just know the government has signed and it will happen. In 15 years, they're still in the same place. The government has changed in the meanwhile. They're still in the same place. But now, when they start saying, no, we know, we see what happened in Burkina Faso. They didn't take IMF loan. They didn't take World Bank. We don't want it. The government, go back. We don't give you the right to do it. So now we are beginning to now control our governance. We are exercising what is called sovereignty. So this is really important. So I don't want us to focus on these tariffs. That's a child's play. Tariffs is a child's play. We need the 50 African governments to have a meeting urgently and begin to devise how they can control the resources going out of Africa, because we need those resources to benefit the people of Africa. If the people, you cannot tell us that Africa is poor, but then you are coming to Africa and taking African resources. I'm sorry. What does that mean? Oh, Africa is poor, but you are having the busiest airspace in Africa is over the Congo, but Congo is poor. I wonder why. That's strange, that isn't it? Isn't that strange? You know, these are the kind of things we should be doing. So our role now is to, if you're an African, please learn your language, teach your people, teach your family, speak your respect. You see, when you start speaking to your people in your language, you are going to show them respect, because you will remember who you are. You will not fall. You will remember who you are when you're speaking to your people in your language, because you are trying to get the message to them and they understand, because we need them to understand what has been done to them. It is strange. Exactly. Yes, it is strange, isn't it? Isn't that strange? Oh, Africa is poor. Oh, we're going to help Africa. Oh, we send billions in. But they don't tell you the trillions they've taken out. Before they put in one penny, they've taken out trillions in resources. It's time to wake up. Hello. Knock, knock, knock. Time to wake up. In Africa, we must wake up. Thank you, Abu Ahmed Abdul. Thank you for saying that. Let me give you a round of applause. You can hear it, those of you on TikTok. He said, I disagree. Africa is the richest continent on the entire planet. Let me see if I can I do that? So I'm going to just do that. So you can hear it. You can hear it. So anyway, I don't want to make it too loud because I don't want it to go wrong. So let me try it. Okay, let me try it again. Sorry. That's better. Yes, sorry. So that's the clap for Abu Ahmed Abdul Rahman Al Amreki. So Africa is indeed the richest continent in the entire world. And we have to tell our people. You see, when in our stories, in our local languages, we need to tell our people this story. It's not enough to just speak about it in English. No. Or in French. We need to speak to them, let them know the riches they possess in their land, in their language, so they can connect themselves to it. They are not connecting themselves to it because they don't know. So please, there's a lot of work for us all to do. I don't want us to be afraid of these tariffs. What we need to do is, if we can get our government to do exactly what Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso is doing, Assimi Goïta of Mali is doing, General Chani of Niger is doing, if we can begin to put pressure on them, no loans from IMF, no or World Bank, because in the countries where they taking IMF loan and World Bank, there has been no development in Africa. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. Prove me wrong. The loans are designed to keep us in a debt cycle. We need to change that. Ibrahim Traore is proof. With the resources, look at the amount of equipment that is coming in. Look at what is changing right before our eyes. It's changing the fortunes of the coming generation of Burkinabés. Right before our eyes. And we have to applaud that. We have to applaud it. And we mustn't relent. So I'm saying this to you all. Please continue to share the broadcast. I'm so grateful many of you joining. It is such a pleasure. But this tariff thing, we must ban export of African resources. We have to make sure, because if you are telling me that I am poor, so what are you doing in my continent, taking my resources? having busy airspace with planes all over my continent, but you are telling me I'm poor. What are you doing? You know, I might take advantage. It's a bad idea. It's going to backfire. It's going to backfire. It's already backfiring. China has got the controls, the rare earth minerals. It's family controlled by China. But Africa, we can no longer. We've been exploited for so long. You know, yeah. Let's look at the fact. The richest person in the world ever was Mansa Musa. Yes. Wow. Again, you know your facts, man. I salute. Yes. Yeah, those loans are an entrapment, like spider's web. Thank you very much. Yes, Synovia Indigo. Absolutely. So we say all of this, we say in it. And please don't forget, if you're watching me, you can download the song. Let me just quickly play a little clip of it. It's a little, okay, I'll do 1 second. Let me see, where is it? If I can find it. Can I find it? 1 second. It's a song of mine, How Long Will Not Go to Suffer. I'd really like it if you can download that song. It's on Apple iTunes. You can download it on there and help us, get it out there. So the more we do that, because we want to be doing things, going to the continent and reaching more people and sharing. So this is the song. There we go. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? Oh, how long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? So that's the song on there. That's the hook line. It's asking you a question. How long will you continue to suffer? Now, our people don't know that they are wealthy. Our job is, as Africans, is to know that the wealth, we're not talking about financial wealth. No, the riches that we have. Why is it that the Western countries are very happy to give you those financial papers in trillions and trillions, but they are quick to grab onto the gold, to the uranium? Why? Why are they so quick to give it away? Think about it. Think about how it works. Let's just think about how it. So somebody's coming with this paper. No, stack. Take it. It's worth a lot. And then they take your resources. Why is that? Why? It means that there is something in that resources. Stop and think. This is for the African leaders who are, I'm a billionaire. Oh, they've told me I've got a billionaire in dollars. I'm a billionaire in pounds. I mean, these are just paper. What they try to do, if you notice now, with everything going on, the price of gold has gone over $3,000 per bar. Go check it. Meaning that the paper money is worthless. You're sitting in it. You're sitting in Africa. The resources are there. That the wealth is beneath your feet. Not in papers. Not in papers. We need to tell our people this. We need to tell our people this fact. That paper is a smokescreen. They are waving it in your face like this, and they are taking your resources. They are waving it in your face, and they are taking your resources. You know? There is no difference. In any case, any loan, be it Chinese, be it Western, is a long-term threat to the development of Africa. We must be in control. So I state again, what we do, we need to determine what we are going to use to pay for whatever expertise is provided. Loan is not the solution. It's been proven by Burkina Faso. It's been proven by Niger. It's been proven by Mali. That's all I'm going to say to you. So it's in either case. And in fact, in Niger, they've come down heavy. The government of Niger has come down very heavy on the Chinese because they were signing deals and they were exploiting the people. And they kicked out some of the companies in Niger. So this is not about favoring the West or the East. It's about African interest now. We're talking about African interest. We're not even talking about allies. No. We have to be allied to ourselves first before anybody else. We have to be allied to ourselves first, and that's what we're trying to teach. And hopefully we can do. So it's not about this loan or that loan. The loans are ultimately extractive, and the goal is to suit ultimately whoever is offering the loan. There is something they want. I just showed you the something they want. They're giving you that paper, but that paper is worth a lot of money. But then if it once the paper, if you want more, they say, oh, give us more of your stuff. So it is your stuff that is more important. If you think just below it, if you start thinking about it, somebody says, let's reflect all the diamonds in the world come from Africa. Let's reflect most of the lithium comes from Africa. Let's reflect most of the metals ores in the world come from Africa. Let's reflect. Wow. Wow. I am just, wow, my brother, wow. Well said. Well said. Well said. Well said. So Abu Ahmed Abdul Rahman Al-Mreki, thank you so much for that. You know, what about no loans? Exactly. Oh, Synovia Indigo. Let me give you a round of applause for that. Exactly. Bingo. What about no loans? Yeah, how about no loans? We don't need your loans. The loan is a debt cycle, and we need to teach this. We have to be teaching our people this, you know. Yeah, Africa is beyond reach. It's where Allah created. Adam is where mankind come from. Yeah, you know, I get the drift of where you're going. You know, we have to just make sure that let's not be afraid of this tariff or whatever they want to call it. This paper, it's thin air. It's something written. We have the real deal, the resources, and we must control the real deal. We need to control who has access to our resources. We have to control the value of the resources. We have to protect our borders so that we're not exploited, our people, their lives wasted. That is what we need to do. That is what Ibrahim Traore is showing us to do. Please, all of us, every African, it is your duty, my duty, our duty to protect Ibrahim Traore, to protect Assimi Goïta, to protect General Chiani, because these men, they are showing us what a great African is doing. They are giving service to their community. You cannot say that about any of the democracies. Any of the democracies in the world, in Africa, they're not giving service to the community. They're impoverishing their community. That I say it. I said it. That's the reality. When Ibrahim Traore, he brought all, you know, he understood all of the equipment in one huge parking lot. Mobile hospitals, tractors, road building equipment, buses, tanks, all of it. You know the symbolism of what he did. He was saying to the people, you have put, I am going to earn your trust by showing you what we are going to do, and we are going to make sure that anybody that we employ will get to do the job. They have to be accountable to you. There is nothing more democratic than what he just did. There is nothing more democratic than what he just did. Whereas in all the democracies, they will tell you they will do it, and that's it. They're not even going to give you any evidence. But that's democracy they want us to support. And that's democratic, right? Arrant nonsense. You heard me say it. Arrant nonsense. What is practiced on the African continent is not democracy. It's an illusion. It's a trick. It's a trick designed to keep you trapped and enslaved, believing in their system. They've got Africans to be thinking so much of the system that we've forgotten the reality of what the system is doing to the lives of our people. And we need to break that chain. I'm so glad that Ibrahim Traore has shown us the way. And we need more of us to be sharing this message. I hope many of you are taking on the message and sharing it in our communities. We need a lot of work to do. Don't be afraid of the tariffs. Like the dollar paper is worthless. What we must do on the African continent is do what Mali has done. Mali has taken over the gold mines from Canadians. Burkina Faso has taken the gold mines from the UK and others, and many others. The Niger has taken over the uranium mines from the French. That is what we need to focus on. So all of this tariff business is a smokescreen. We don't care about that. We need to be if they're gonna say, "Oh, America," what are the words they used again? Let me remind you of the words again. Let me, I want to use. I want to be very, very precise about the word you said. What did you say again? Let me see. Our country has been looted, pillaged, and raped by other nations. I think you've got your words back to front, Trump. You should be saying, we, the US, we have looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered other nations, i.e., Libya, i.e., Iran, i.e., Iraq, i.e., Palestine. That's what you'd be saying. But they're not, these are not facts you will hear them say. So the pillage is the other way around. Yeah, paper is irrelevant. Yeah, you have the land, the hard currency that counts. Thank you. The resources is the hard currency. So if anything that we're going to take away from this, our people on ground have to understand that the hard currency is the resources. And it's born out, like I said, right now, gold is 3,000 per bar of gold. And the dollar is tanking its value, Yeah, papers. Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Yes, papers. Yes, not irrelevant. Yeah, I know. I understand what you mean. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it says here, we have to figure out a way where we can make all our African unite, just like United States. So 50 states, Africa has to unite in the same way, and it would be completely unstoppable. Wow, wow, wow. I am. A round of applause again. Round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. We're sharing that. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me. Someone said no sound. Hang on. Hang on. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. I'll go back the other way. I'm going to go back the other way. So we're going to go back the other way. Okay. So we're just flipping around. When I'm going to, I know what I'll do now. I'll flip between so it doesn't cause a problem. So, like I said, thank you very much, those of you. I know there's been a problem on TikTok. I do apologize for the sound issue. Somebody said no sound, but okay. But anyway, so those of you on YouTube, I can't thank you enough for joining this broadcast. We're going to talk some more. We are going to talk about. I cannot overemphasize that these words I'm about to say, and that is that we don't need democracy on the African continent. It is safe to say that now. We do not need democracy on the African continent. We do not need democracy on the African continent. What we need is for Africa to be left alone. We need one united African continent. We need one united African continent. You will get a car, exactly. So for 1 million military for Africa, exactly. You will get a car immediately, and any car you want. Exactly. So we have, look, we are rich. Africa is rich, wealthy. I don't like to say rich. Africa is wealthy beyond compare in terms of resources. They know it, we know it. It is time we start getting our people to exercise and benefit from that. So with that said, I thank you all so much for joining me. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I really enjoy having the discussions. I do apologize, those of you on TikTok. There's been an issue with the sound today, but I will fix that next time. I'm hoping, I'm not able to give you precise timings about when I'm going to come out, but I will try and do that as much as I can. I'll give you heads up as often as I can, but I'm really grateful for your support. Please subscribe to the platform. We welcome super chats, those of you on YouTube, and please subscribe, spread the information to reach out more people, Thank you. Oh, thank you, Silvano, Sinovia Indigo. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, and everybody else listening as well. And it's been an interesting discussion. I try and read as much comments as possible, both on TikTok and on YouTube, and give and respond as best as I can. Thank you. Yes, turn on your notifications as well, please. Everybody, turn on your notifications, and I will have that. When I come on live, you will see me. Very, very important. So before I go, we're gonna play out with my song. How long una go to suffer? I'm gonna mute it here. Let me see if we can get it going. So it's a song I wrote. Don't forget to download it on iTunes and on Spotify, and help us spread the word. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we are. Okay, I think I got it now. Yeah, it will come up now. Okay. Okay. So there we go. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Here we go. Uh-huh. Here we go. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long go? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? My people, we don't tire. Inside Nigeria, a slave camp we dey oh. My people, we don't tire for the country where them they call Nigeria. A slave camp oh. The time not knock we suppose. Stand up for our rights, oh. Stand up for our rights, oh. The time don't knock when we suppose. Stand up, oh, for our rights, oh. For self-determination. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long go? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? Abdul Salam na fake man. Now he put that yeah constitution for your head, yo. Abdul Salam na fake man. Now military man can't tell myself not get constitution. Na lie, yo, na fake, na fraud, oh. That yeah constitution. Now in the day close to my eye, yo. When I wake up, whoa. Mocha Berenio, I just a wonder. Mocha Berenio, I just a wonder. Mocha Berenio, I just a wonder. Mocha Berenio, I wonder. Berenio, I just a wonder. Mocha Berenio, I just a wonder. Berenio. Mocha Berenio, I just a wonder. People I want make una know so. Self-determination on your right you. People I want make una know so. Now your right you. You must fight for your rights. You must stand for your rights. You must get up, stand up. You must tell your people for your village, for your town, for your city, any inside country where you do. Article. Emiloko. Emiloko will no be the solution. Now the solution 9 be the solution. Make una wake up. Make una wake up. Time don't knock. You be Yoruba man, you be Biafran. I want make una know say self-determination and your right you. Hey, 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 hey. Your land, yo. Biafra land, na your land, yo. No be Nigeria, no be Nigeria, no be Nigeria, no be Nigeria. Ra-ra-ra-ra-oh. Thank you so very much for joining the broadcast. You've been listening to Season AY, the platform where we speak with. I'll back again sometime soon. I'll give you updates. Don't forget, subscribe, hit notification button, and of course, give us thumbs up. Thank you and bye for now. Bye all. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Abu. Thank